There we go.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. We're on season 6, episode number 15. Andy, tonight is the sports edition. Today is February 17th, 2025. How are you?
We are here. Spring training's in full swing. NASCAR season has begun. Spring is in the air as it's 20 below outside and schools are closed everywhere tomorrow. We're talking spring sports.
Yes. Now, it's interesting because, once the Super Bowl ends, we see this big switchover, and a lot of baseball friends that I run into and you run into on social media are all excited because now baseball can start. Super Bowl's done, and so that's what we've seen a lot this week. A lot of spring training news.
One public service
Let's
announcement.
kick off with the trivia.
First of all, anyone watching this, if you're watching this in the first 12 hours it comes out, for Tuesday, like I said, here in Minnesota, a lot of schools are closing, but I have seen on a couple school sites closed, but afternoon basketball games still in session. A lot of times when schools close, they don't have the afternoon sports. So follow your local stuff closely tonight for tomorrow.
So there might be exceptions this time for that. Okay. Yep. We cannot assume. We just want to make sure that if the school's closed at school, but the afternoon activities might still be going on.
Yeah, they're closed because of the wind chills.
So we've got a trivia question. All right. Yesterday was a Daytona 500. Andy will provide more on that later in the show. Kicks off the NASCAR season. Fun stuff. I do have a trivia question. Andy, you might know the answer to this. We'll get the answer at the end of the show. Who was the first person to win back-to-back Daytona 500? Which driver was the first ever to win it back-to-back years? That's the question. It's been done several times, but who was the first? We'll give the answer at the end of the session, but we'll have a lot of Daytona today. There's even a bonus episode.
There was even a bonus episode earlier. We'll cover that later, too. We just got so much going on here. Oh, my God. All right, here we go. We're here to educate. Here we are.
Nice.
First of all, 2024 Hall of Fame inductees, Minnesota Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame. There you go. Congratulations, gentlemen. I saw this stat, and I thought this was intriguing. Major League Baseball teams hitting at least 250. Okay, in 2005, 30 of them did. The numbers go on there. Mostly all of them. And you get to 2021, 5 teams did. Then 10, then 14, and 6. The last few years there was the rule change with the pitch clock the last couple of years. And the shift came on and left. Really between 2018 and now, it's like less than half of the teams batting 250. 250 means you went 1 for 4. So that means teams are barely getting a hit an inning, less than a hit an inning. Yet we don't see more no-hitters. So there's a lot of 1-run, 5-hit games for teams going on, I guess, So if you like those low-scoring games, like I do, happy days, But I like
it is interesting because this is teams, but it's also the same for individuals. So for players, there's 250 for a player now is an average. It used to be looked down at as well. You're only hitting 250, 260. It's not that good. Now if you're hitting 250, you're doing well because it's common for having regular starters hitting 220, 230 is very common, which is hard to get my head around this, Andy. What are your thoughts on that as far as the view?
You growing up, I remember looking at the stats. Look at the stats in the newspaper on Sunday morning, and they'd show the batting leaders for the year, the top 10, and the guy 10th was like at 321. Now you look at it, the guy at 321 is in first place. So things have changed.
It's very different to look at.
Dan's favorite part of the show here.
Love it.
I'm just going to get into these next few stories all kind of wind in together. It's kind of all one soapbox. They all feed off each other.
Okay.
The NBA, I guess you can call it an all-star game this weekend. But whistle nuts here. LeBron waited to the last minute to sit out so they couldn't get a replacement for him. So he could still say he was an all-star. Keep your ego. We get it. You're whatever. Cool. Just admit you're not going to be in the All-Star game because you're tired or you're hurt or you're old. Just say it. We don't care. In football, you know how many guys at the end of the season used to not play in the Pro Bowl at the end because their bodies beat up from the season and they weren't going to do an exhibition game? Life goes on. I'm pretty sure you got in your contract, if you were voted in as an all-star, you still got your bonus. You'll still get it for not going there. Relax. You've got $1 billion. But also in the all-star game, that is skills competition, which I like the skills competitions. But one of them was you had to hit balls passes through a circle. And then you had to go to another part, and it was the San Antonio Spurs team that was doing it. They had 2 guys doing it. And you're supposed to take 3 shots off the rack. And then you go over here and you're supposed to hit 3 shots through a windmill and pass. What these 2 clowns did is they get to the rack and just basically knock the balls off the rack so they could hurry up and get a fastest time. They didn't take the shots. They just pushed the balls off the rack. Why are we charging people money to go see this, to see you run through the gym and be a little bitch? Then this clown here, he's won 3 straight dunk competitions. He plays in the G League, which is like playing AA ball. Oh, he could dunk over a car and he could grab a ball off a ladder and dunk it. Great. Can you hit a jump shot? He's made 3 times as much in the dunk competition than playing regular basketball. Really? People are excited for this? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys that have a great arm in the outfield in baseball, but they can't hit a ball. They got other guys can hit home runs, but can't hit water if they fell out of a boat throwing it. No, I want the dunk competition to be players I see every day. Not guys coming up and going, who's this clown? I mean, he doesn't even get the same jersey number every year when he comes back.
It should be the players involved in the skills competition should be from the population data of the NBA players rosters. That should be the people involved, not the D League, not the G League. I see.
So how come for the home run derby they can't call a guy from AAA or AA then? That's basically what they're doing here.
That's the same thing.
And the guy's coming up from AA and won it 3 years in a row.
I see.
University of Illinois retired jersey number. Stay classy, you. They get his banner for his jersey and they had it upside down. You can't make this up. That is not photoshopped. That happened.
Oh my God.
I just really. Anyway. And they retired his number and he played there 2 years. Whatever. All right, the homework assignment. Speaking of all-star games. Here's what's come down to. The NFL, they basically wear hats and shorts. The NBA, you have fans throwing balls. Baseball's kind of become a show with the home run derby and that. And in hockey's, you have fights still. The league tournament for hockey, they have 4 different countries in this round robin. U.S. and Canada had 3 fights in 9 seconds. Again, 3 fights in 9 seconds. And look at the NFL. Oh, I got my fancy little hat on. Don't tackle me. It's a flag game. You know. NBA, let's not play defense so we can score 200 points. You know. Hockey, let's fight. Here, NBA player. I can't play in a back-to-back game because my knees are a little sore. NHL player. I'm willing to die for my country in an exhibition game. That's the difference, folks, between the NBA and the
this
NHL. This
is interesting. It's very good. Very good.
Hockey, the NFL. Again, NFL's turned the Pro Bowl into flag football. NBA stars don't even break a sweat and play defense in a game. NHL players are throwing haymakers 3 seconds into a 4 nations game, and it looks like a Royal Rumble. How could you? Again, hockey is good. Stuff like this. And I was listening to one show today. They said, if this would have happened 2 weeks ago in hockey and then the NBA All-Star game this weekend, not many people would be going, what the NBA is a joke. but they happen on the same weekend, and it just shows you the difference in the two. I'm not going to repeat the language here. I've put it on our Facebook page. Go back to what Shaq said about it. Go back to what some other players have just been ripping on the NBA All-Star game this weekend. How this is a joke. Even their players don't like it. Daytona 500. Let's leave it at this. Bonus episode. I recorded it earlier today. And to prove I recorded it earlier today, I'm wearing the same hoodie I was wearing that about an hour ago when I recorded it. So
nice.
Go back, check it out. It's about 5 minutes long. It's my take on this year's Daytona 500. Now some more sports stuff. This will be about 95% Minnesota high school league stuff. So here we go. Boys hockey tournament starts March 5th. So you'll see all the sectional stuff coming up recently here now for boys. So get prepared to watch that. Girls hockey tournament is all set for next weekend. Here's your brackets. Here is for the A schools. You got Ferguson, Orono, Marshall, and Warroad on the left side of the bracket. Right side of the bracket, River Lake, and Dodge County, and Proctor Herman, and the Academy of Holy Angels. That's like the Angels of Anaheim. The Academy of Holy Angels.
It's the first time they've been in.
And here's the AA bracket. We're going to start on the right side this time. We're going to go Holy Family in Moorhead, Farmington and the Cake Eaters. The other side, Andover and Hill Murray, Centennial, and Rosemont. If you'll notice on there, you don't see the Minnetonka girls were number one seed coming in. They did not win the section tournament, therefore they're not there. There, I said it. I had to admit Minnetonka didn't make it. That hurts. So let's just hope anyone but Edina wins. Dance team had theirs.
So Minnetonka was number one ranked team in the state for girls,
yes,
and got beat by Holy Family in the sectional finals, and that's why there's no number one remaining team left in the state of Minnesota for AA. They got beat. Usually they're the ones who get in and get through there, and Holy Family never gets a chance because they get beat up, but they won. And so that's why it's their first time. So look for that. It's a little change, a little difference here in the tournament.
Okay, dance team had theirs, Jazz, and dance over the weekends with Jazz. Your champion, Lakapura. Dawson Boys, your champs. Yellow Medicine East, second place. St. Cloud Cathedral, third for A. AA Jazz, Benilde St. Margaret's, your champions. Orono and Totino Grace. And 3A, Eastview, Maple Grove, and the Cake Eaters in third. That's your Jazz results. High Kick, A, Lakapara, Yellow Medicine, and Holdingford comes in third. 2 is Totino Grace, Benilde, and Orono. Your AAA is Brainerd, Eastview, and Sartell. So there you go. There's your dance results. Gymnastics coming up next weekend, or as we like to call it, the Watertown Mayor Invitational. And then after that,
we're wrestling. Andy, we're in March. We're in March Madness now for the winter sports. For the first weekend's done, it's going to rattle off for 6 or 8 weeks here going forward. Most of them is going to be in March, but for the ones in February, they're already kicking off here. Lots of fun. We'll be covering a lot of this in the next few weeks.
Yep. You saw a lot of our posts on social media, the section winners for wrestling. Lots of the same, but lots of news. It'll be kind of fun to watch. Brackets have not been released yet, but you'll see that on our social media when they do. Just got one more thing here. The Patinos are having one heck of a season. Papa Patino at St. John's has them atop the Big East and ranked number 10 in the country. Little Patino, former Gopher coach, has New Mexico atop the Mountain West at a 22-4 record. Would it be cool if they face each other in the March Madness? I know they They say they just randomly pair teams. You can't tell me they're going to try to see what they can do to get these two to match up somewhere early on. Don't bank on it being a Sweet 16 matchup that some might get moved, so it's the second round just in case, I'd be okay with that, yeah. Old man Patino's still going strong, still having it at St. John's, top 10. His son, who did a good job here with Gophers, he got kind of screwed out of that. I would wish he would have stayed, but there you go, man. That's what I got.
Good stuff. Good stuff. The thing I'm going to be following this week here, Andy, the rest of this week, because, the state girls hockey, of course, we've got down to 16 teams left in the state, 8 in AA, 8 in single A. They'll start Wednesday. It's double elimination tournament. UConn women's girls basketball, Andy, I'm going to be following. I've been posting the Paige Becker's report as she's moving up the standings. Last week, we announced that she was number 12 all-time for UConn women's basketball scoring. She bumped into 11. Now she's sitting in 10th place. And so the next couple of games, there's 4 games left. She should move up a couple more. Then we'll keep everyone posted on that. And once they're done with the regular season, they'll go on to the Big East tournament and then the NCAA. So she'll have plenty more time to get up, work her way up the list. But this is her senior season, so she'll be done after this. The NHL, like Andy said, is on their break. They're on this Final Four, or this and the Four Nations face-off kind of a deal there. They're busy with that. Baseball, Major League Baseball. Most teams now, I think, have reported to camp.
One thing about Paige Beckers, I was trying to find the exact numbers here. She is the third player in UConn history with 2,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists. Donna Taurasi and Maya Moore.
That is huge.
Yep.
So even though she's 10th for scoring, you start getting up to these numbers she's at now, where you start combining the rebounds, the assists, the points. She's now in the third of the number of the talented women that have come through that program to be one of 3. Wow. And so 4 more games, regular season, then the postseason. She will be moving up a lot of those points ladders also. Now, Major League Baseball, Andy, Minnesota Twins reported first full workout today for spring training. Most teams are reported, I think, through the course of this week now, everyone will be in. And so I think the next couple of days, whoever hasn't begun yet are going to start. Minnesota Twins this Saturday, first game. Braves, exhibition game. And I think all the teams start Saturday. So should be fun. There's 30 games. It's basically 4 weeks of baseball here, starting off on Saturday, and we'll be monitoring that closely as well. Anything else with baseball or football, Andy, that you can think of?
No, just a lot of things. You see a lot of guys.
If not,
a lot of guys getting ready for football for the draft. You'll see a lot of players going to combines and invites. You'll see all that happy stuff in Indianapolis going on. Just for relax on baseball, if you hear it, I know we posted some stuff. Don't think I've lost my mind. It's not happening this year, but qualifying is happening for the World Baseball Classic next year. For some other countries, for like Germany and some of these other smaller European countries, are having their tournaments this year to advance for next year. So if you see posts about World Baseball Classic and go, why don't you see the big American teams or Puerto Rican teams? Yeah, they're in. These are the qualifiers to that 8th seed team country. So you'll see some of those posts coming up. That's for qualifiers for next year. So scratch that itch.
2026 World Baseball Classic is the next one. 2026. Okay. We'll be covering more amateur stuff here in the next month here for Town Ball Minnesota baseball. But we have a trivia answer, Andy. Daytona 500. The question is this: who was the first Daytona 500 driver to win back-to-back Daytona 500 races and back-to-back seasons? Who do you think it is, Andy?
Well, it's happened 5 times, Dan. Recently, yesterday was number 5. And when William Bryan did it, he was the fastest to get back-to-back. That's what I'm thinking for. I think it's like this is his 3rd year, and he's got it already. But your answer, are you ready? Who is it, Dan?
Richard Petty. 1973 and 74.
There he is.
There is the winners.
Hale
Very tough to do, of course.
Sterling
83. So the 70s, 80s, 90s. No one in the 2000s. And then 15s and 20s. It's been done 5 times in 6 different decades. Yep. So Petty, when he won his second one in 1974, was on this very day in 1974 that he won that. Broke all this news because he was the first ever back-to-back guy to win it back-to-back on this day, 1974. He's your answer to the trivia. It's been done 5 times. There are your winners.
And his
tough. Is it? Would you call this the Mount Rushmore? Not really, maybe.
No, not really, because they've all had great careers, but Byron's is so young, it's hard to say. I can fit a lot more guys. Mount Rushmore of Daytona drivers, I wouldn't even say that. Sterling Martin got the back-to-back. Okay. Congratulations. But you know what? What Dale Earnhardt and what Junior and Senior did there, what they'd done, all the other stuff Petty had done there, other guys coming in, the Waltrip boys. I mean, these guys won it back-to-back. There's other guys who have won 2 or more Daytona 500s. These guys just did it back-to-back.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that straight, too. That
it's got to be tough. I mean, to win it once would be tough. Back-to-back years. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to have that. So congrats to those guys. The 5th one being done yesterday. Petty, first one on this very day, 1974. And that is 51 years ago today that was. Is that even right?
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Long time, the old Richard Petty. I've got nothing more for sports. Do you have anything, Andy?
And those at town ball schedules, you'll see them dropping here and there and everywhere else. Certain teams are releasing there. Some are late. Some teams are late. Waiting till March. Okay, fine. But you can probably piece together their schedules by looking at everybody else's schedule. It's kind of like a puzzle. Hey,
putting it all together.
I see they're playing this team. I see you can make your own team schedule by just following everybody else's.
Good stuff. We'll see you back next week. Have a good week, everyone.